G'day, welcome to our usual look at what might be in store for us down the track. Tonight, various forms of defence. Defence of our waters, defence of a city against the elements, and what the digger of the future might be equipped with in 10 years' time. Well, you just might have picked up of late that there are Australian combat personnel overseas at the moment. But no matter what you think of the reasons for them being there, we'd all want them back home quickly and in one piece. Well, for a while now, Australian defence whizzes have been working on long-range ideas to make the job of a frontline Australian soldier safer, if that's not a contradiction in war terms. Simon Watt went to Adelaide to check out the digger of the future.
Lately, we've all seen lots of pictures of soldiers around the world fully kitted up. But both what they carry and how they fight is about to become radically revolutionised. I'm at a defence training ground outside Adelaide where some of Australia's top defence scientists are assessing the needs of the Australian soldier of the future.
They've entered the building and they're now just basically clearing the rooms, searching for any adversary. And what we'll do basically is using the videos, looking at the way in which they do the activities, the procedures, the timings, the way in which they interact with different sorts of technologies.
This fellow is the lead scientist at the Defence Science and Technology Organisation in South Australia. And with all branches of the Defence Forces now on high security alert, we can only know him by his first name. But what Wayne and his team of scientists are doing is finding ways to improve a soldier's capability and safety on the battlefield.
Well, it's unlikely that the size of the Australian Army will get larger over the next 5 to 10 years. So basically, if we want to increase our capabilities, we need to utilise the technology to the best of effect.
To that end, Wayne's teams crammed the soldiers' battle fatigues with gadgets. There's a central computer, a global positioning system, digital compass, and more cameras than you can comfortably poke a stick at.
This is basically a head-mounted display which gives the soldier a means of viewing the information that's available through his computer system, basically without having to take his hands off the weapon. So just to give you an idea of what the soldier sees through the head-mounted display, this is a picture of the digital map. He has the ability to switch from this picture to a view from the weapon sight. In a heated firefight situation, you can imagine a soldier sees something move. He's got a split second to decide whether to shoot that person or not. So the ability of the GPS to know where his own friendly forces are, if he sees somebody move in the distance, he immediately knows whether that movement is in the location of a friend. If it's not, then the odds are it's an enemy.
So it cuts down on those things that we hear about killed under friendly fire.
Yep. What we've got on the weapon here is a thermal camera and an optical camera. The images from those are sent back to the computer and can be viewed through the head-mounted display. You can switch to the thermal and scan the scene for any hotspots, switch back to the optical to see or identify what those hotspots are. So the idea is basically that a soldier can come up to a corner, he can stick the weapon around. If he thinks it's not safe for him to go around, then basically he can send the robot around. What we have here is one of the robotic vehicles. It's got the camera in front, which transmits through to the soldier's head-mounted display. The basic point of the robots is to enable the soldier to send his eyes through this camera into locations that are either dangerous for him to go or situations where he can't fit. What we're looking at is the indoor virtual range. What it enables us to do is create a series of experiments, and then what we're able to look at is his ability to engage the targets, his reaction time, his error rates, how he scans and how he uses the weapon, and then introduce a new technology and see what impact that has on his ability to use the weapon.
Now, all this equipment is going to require a lot of retraining for the average digger. So is it a case of too much information?
When you're first introduced to it, yes, but after a bit of training with it, after you get familiar with it, it becomes basically a second language. Obviously there needs to be some modifications, but once you get rid of the wires and once you build some of these systems into the rifle to make it less cumbersome, I think it's going to be a very efficient piece of equipment to use.
What they're doing now is going through a rigorous phase of assessment of the equipment and the ideas, and it's taken 8 years to get to this point, because when you're dealing with life and death situations like war, you've got to get it right.
It's limitless in terms of the range of technologies that could be placed on the soldier. I suppose our sort of work here is to make sure that those that are placed on the soldier truly represent an improvement in capability. And the end goal is to make the soldier as safe as he can be on the battlefield.
Incredible stuff. And what's that old line? Is it progress because a cannibal eats with a knife and fork? Simon Watt there.